All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India's vaccination program can be a case study for the world. Urges people to get themselves vaccinated against COVID-19 soon. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to virtually inaugurate 63 bridges built by Border Roads Organisation in 8 states. Delhi government further relaxes COVID restrictions in the national capital. Haryana extends lockdown till July 5 with certain relaxations. Bangladesh government imposes stricter lockdown in the country from today following a sharp rise in COVID cases. Deepika Kumari bags 3 gold medals at Archery World Cup Stage 3 in Paris. In women's cricket, England beat India by 8 wickets in first ODI. And in Euro Cup football, Belgium knock out defending champion Portugal to enter quarter-finals. Czech Republic beat Netherlands to enter the last 8. As the nation gears up for free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years, we advise our listeners to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow the 4 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene and get vaccinated. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact National Helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said India accomplished an unprecedented feat when a record number of vaccine doses were administered to over 86 lakh people in a single day. Addressing the nation through his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio, Mr. Modi said the country achieved this feat on 21st of June when the next phase of vaccination campaign commenced.
कोरोना के खिलाफ हम देशवासियों की लड़ाई जारी है, लेकिन इस लड़ाई में हम सब साथ मिलकर कई असाधारण मुकाम भी हासिल कर रहे हैं। अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही हमारे देश ने एक अभूतपूर्व काम किया है। 21 जून को वैक्सीन अभियान के अगले चरण की शुरुआत हुई और उसी दिन देश ने 86 लाख से ज्यादा लोगों को मुफ्त वैक्सीन लगाने का रिकॉर्ड भी बना दिया और वो भी एक दिन में। इतनी बड़ी संख्या में भारत सरकार की तरफ से मुफ्त वैक्सीनेशन और वो भी एक दिन में स्वाभाविक है, इसकी चर्चा भी खूब हुई है। साथियों, 1 साल पहले सबके सामने सवाल था कि वैक्सीन कब आएगी। आज हम एक दिन में लाखों लोगों को मेड इन इंडिया वैक्सीन मुफ्त में लगा रहे हैं और यही तो नए भारत की ताकत है।
Mr. Modi stressed that efforts must continue to ensure that every citizen is able to avail the safety that the vaccine provides. He encouraged people to end the vaccine hesitancy. He pointed out that myriad organizations and members of civil society have come forward in many places in order to end vaccine hesitancy.
क्या आपके मन में भी डर है?
जी सर, पूरे गांव में ऐसा भ्रम फैला दिया था सर।
अरे रे, ये क्या बात की आपने? देखिए राजेश जी, मेरा आपको भी और मेरे सभी गांव के भाई बहनों को यही कहना है कि डर है तो निकाल दीजिए।
जी,
हमारे पूरे देश में 31 करोड़ से भी ज्यादा लोगों ने वैक्सीन का टीका लगवा लिया है।
जी,
आपको पता है ना, मैंने खुद ने भी दोनों डोज लगवा लिए हैं।
जी सर।
अरे मेरी माँ तो करीब 100 साल की है, उन्होंने भी दोनों डोज लगवा लिए। कभी कभी किसी को इससे बुखार वगैरह आता है, पर वो बहुत मामूली होता है, कुछ घंटों के लिए ही होता है। देखिए, वैक्सीन नहीं लेना बहुत खतरनाक हो सकता है।
जी,
इससे आप खुद को तो खतरे में डालते ही हैं, साथ ही में परिवार और गांव को भी खतरे में डाल सकते हैं।
जी,
और राजेश, इसलिए जितना जल्दी हो सके वैक्सीन लगवा लीजिए और गांव में सबको बताइए।
The Prime Minister said, someday people of villages and forest dwellers displaying their capabilities and understanding in the pandemic will become a subject of case study for the world.
हमारे वनवासी आदिवासी भाई बहनों ने इस कोरोना काल में किस तरह अपने सामर्थ्य और सूझबूझ का परिचय दिया, गांव के लोगों ने क्वारंटाइन सेंटर बनाए, स्थानीय जरूरतों को देखते हुए कोविड प्रोटोकॉल बनाए। गांव के लोगों ने किसी को भूखा नहीं सोने दिया, खेती का काम भी रुकने नहीं दिया। नजदीक के शहरों में दूध, सब्जियां ये सब हर रोज पहुंचता रहे, ये भी गांव ने सुनिश्चित किया। यानी खुद को संभाला, औरों को भी संभाला। ऐसे ही हमें वैक्सीनेशन अभियान में भी करते रहना है। हमें जागरूक रहना भी है और जागरूक करना भी है। गांव में हर एक व्यक्ति को वैक्सीन लग जाए, ये हर गांव का लक्ष्य होना चाहिए।
The IAS Association has expressed gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for recognizing the contribution of Guru Prasad Mohapatra, secretary in his government, who died due to COVID recently. Mr. Modi, in his Mann Ki Baat on All India Radio yesterday, had said that Guru Prasad was diagnosed with corona. He was admitted in the hospital and yet, at the same time, was performing his official duty too. He toiled day and night to increase the oxygen-producing capacities of the country and to ensure the oxygen reached the far-flung areas. Mr. Modi said, on one hand, the affairs of the court, and on the other hand, the pressure of the media, Guru Prasad kept fighting on many fronts simultaneously and did not stop working even during his illness.
गुरु प्रसाद जी को कोरोना हो गया था। वो अस्पताल में भर्ती थे और अपना कर्तव्य भी निभा रहे थे। देश में ऑक्सीजन का उत्पादन बढ़े, दूर सुदूर इलाकों तक ऑक्सीजन पहुंचे, इसके लिए उन्होंने दिन रात काम किया। एक साथ कई मोर्चों पर वो लड़ते रहे। बीमारी के दौरान उन्होंने काम करना बंद नहीं किया। मना करने के बाद भी वो जीत करके ऑक्सीजन पर होने वाली वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस में भी शामिल हो जाते थे। देशवासियों की इतनी चिंता थी उन्हें, वो अस्पताल के बेड पर खुद की परवाह किए बिना देश के लोगों तक ऑक्सीजन पहुंचाने के लिए इंतजाम में जुटे रहे। हम सबके लिए दुखद है कि इस कर्मयोगी को भी देश ने खो दिया है। कोरोना ने उन्हें हमसे छीन लिया है। ऐसे अनगिनत लोग हैं जिनकी चर्चा कभी हो नहीं पाई। ऐसे हर व्यक्ति को हमारी श्रद्धांजलि यही होगी कि हम कोविड प्रोटोकॉल का पूरी तरह पालन करें।
Professor Dr. A.K. Varshney of Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital, Delhi, has said that there might be many variants of COVID, just as Delta Plus, the latest one. However, everyone has to take precautions to deal with any variants of COVID-19. He said this while participating in the Corona Jagrukta program of All India Radio last night.
देखिए, वायरस के वेरिएंट आते रहते हैं, लेकिन बचाव का दो तरीका है। एक तो ये होता है कि जिन लोगों को वैक्सीन उपलब्ध है और जो उसके लिए एलिजिबल हैं, वो तुरंत अपना वैक्सीनेशन कराएं। और दूसरे, वैक्सीनेशन चाहे आपने कराया हुआ है या नहीं कराया हो, हम बार बार कहते हैं कोविड एप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर। आप जब भी घर के बाहर निकलते हैं, किसी भी कार्य के लिए निकलते हैं, तो बाहर जरूरी है कि एक अच्छा मास्क लगाएं। आप N95 अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं, वो लगाएं, नहीं तो डबल मास्क लगा के जाएं।
COVID restrictions imposed in the national capital were further relaxed today as Delhi is witnessing decline in the number of cases. As a part of further opening up of activities, gyms and yoga institutes have been permitted to open. The new relaxation came into effect at 5 this morning. More details from our correspondent.
COVID situation in Delhi has significantly improved in the last few weeks due to continuous decline in coronavirus cases. In view of this, Delhi Disaster Management Authority had decided to permit few activities. Gyms and yoga institutes have been allowed to function with 50% capacity. Ceiling on the number of guests in the marriage function has also been raised from 20 to 50. Owners of banquet halls, marriage halls, hotels, gyms and yoga institutes shall be responsible for ensuring strict compliances of COVID-appropriate behavior. However, school, colleges and other educational institutions will remain closed. All social, political, cultural and religious activities will be prohibited. Cinema halls, theatres, multiplexes, entertainment parks, spas, assembly halls and auditoriums are not allowed to open. All these restrictions and prohibitions in the national capital will continue till 5th July of next month. Bhupendra Singh, AR News, Delhi.
The Haryana government has announced an extension of the coronavirus lockdown by another week till July 5, while granting certain relaxations. In a fresh order issued under the Disaster Management Act, the state government allowed the university campuses to open for research scholars and practical classes in laboratories. Anganwadi centres and creches under Women and Child Development Department will continue to remain closed till July 31 in the state. The relaxations on reopening of shops, malls, restaurants, religious places, corporate offices, gatherings and weddings, funerals, open spaces, etc. will continue as currently in place. In Gujarat, more than 240,000 people were vaccinated against COVID-19 yesterday, which include nearly 140,000 beneficiaries in the 18 to 44 age group. The state reported 112 fresh cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. The State Health Department said 3 deaths were reported in the state yesterday.
Tamil Nadu continues to register a steady decline in the number of COVID cases. According to the State Health Bulletin, fresh COVID cases were at 5,127. For the first time after several months, the total number of deaths stood at 91. In Kerala, 10,905 COVID-positive cases were confirmed in the state within the last 24 hours, while 12,351 recoveries were also reported. The test positivity rate is 10.49%. As 62 deaths were registered within 24 hours, the death toll in the state has risen to 12,879.
In Chhattisgarh, now private hospitals will be opened in the villages. For this, a grant will be given by the state government to the private sector. More from our Raipur correspondent.
Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel has asked for the cooperation of the private sector to further strengthen the health facilities in rural areas. The Chief Minister said that the services of specialist doctors could be made available in rural areas besides expanding health services and improving health infrastructure with private sector cooperation. The Chief Minister has asked the Department of Industries to prepare its action plan in the next 10 days. The Chief Minister said that grants would also be given to the private sector to strengthen the health infrastructure in rural areas. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
Bihar Education Minister Vijay Kumar Chaudhary has said that educational institutions in the state will reopen in a phased manner after July 6 if the COVID situation continue to improve. Educational institutions in the state have remained closed since 19th of April following the second wave of COVID pandemic. Mr. Chaudhary said in the first phase, universities and colleges will be allowed to resume offline classes after July 6 with all COVID protocols. Maharashtra government has removed certain lockdown relaxations from today in the backdrop of 21 cases of COVID-19 Delta Plus variants found in Maharashtra. Revised lockdown guidelines are imposed in the state from today. Union Ministry of Health had sent a letter to the Maharashtra to take immediate steps to control the pandemic. Accordingly, Maharashtra Chief Secretary Sitaram Kunte imposed more restrictions in the state. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
As per the instructions of Union Health Ministry, state government has removed certain relaxations given in lockdown. The modified order has been enforced from today. Under new guidelines, malls and theatres shall remain closed. Mumbai local services are allowed for essential services employees. Shops selling essential items can remain open up to 4 p.m. on all days, while non-essential selling shops shall open only on weekdays till 4 p.m. Public transport shall operate with only sitting capacity and no standings are allowed. Restaurants shall remain open only up to 4 p.m. and only takeaway are allowed after that. Government offices will operate with 50% capacity, while private offices can operate till 4 p.m. Section 144 is applicable in all places, banning gathering of 5 or more persons. Umesh Kulkarni, Air News, Mumbai.
The Bangladesh government has imposed strict lockdown in the country from today following a sharp rise in COVID-19 infection. All government and private offices will remain closed during the lockdown. No vehicles will be allowed to operate except for emergency and medical services. Movement of people out of their home without urgent reason will be restricted, but it will not be applicable for people working in media organizations. Bangladesh has been witnessing a sharp rise in COVID cases in the recent weeks. Our special correspondent from Dhaka has filed this story.
The COVID-19 situation in Bangladesh continues to remain grim. On Sunday, 119 people died in the country due to corona. This is the highest number of deaths in a single day since the first corona-positive case was detected in the country in March last year. The sample positivity rate in the country is also at an alarming level of over 21%. Several districts in the country were under complete lockdown since the last 10 days. However, in view of the continuing surge in infections and deaths, the government on Sunday announced a number of COVID-19 restrictions. From today morning, movement of all public transport except cargo vehicles and rickshaws across the country has been suspended till the morning of 1st July. All shopping malls, markets, tourist places, resorts, community centers and recreation centers will also remain closed. Rajesh Jha, AIR News, Dhaka.
From Kungyam village in eastern Ladakh, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will virtually inaugurate 63 bridges today. From Kunjan Bridge on Leh-Loma Road, the minister will inaugurate 63 bridges built by Border Roads Organisation (BRO) in 8 states across the country. Here's a report.
On the second day of his 3-day visit in Ladakh, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh virtually inaugurated a record number of 63 bridges at a click. Amongst the bridges, 11 in Ladakh, 4 in Jammu and Kashmir, 3 in Himachal Pradesh, 6 in Uttarakhand, 8 in Sikkim, 29 in Arunachal Pradesh and 1 each in Nagaland and Manipur. On record number of bridges inauguration and other morale-boosting welfare measures, BRO Director General Lieutenant General Rajiv Chaudhary said,
Raksha Mantri ji will be inaugurating 63 bridges, which is a record of sort, from Kungam all across the northern borders. After inaugurating 12 roads from east on 17th June, he is also will be giving 19,000 winter jackets to our labourers across the northern borders who are deployed in super high altitude and high altitude areas.
BRO used the latest technologies in building of these bridges. These are all Class 70 bridges and can bear the load of movement of tanks and other heavy vehicles. These bridges facilitate strategic and quicker access not just to armed forces but to people living in the border villages as well. Ramesh Chandra, All India Radio News, Leh.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India's vaccination program can be a case study for the world. Urges people to get themselves vaccinated against COVID-19 soon. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to virtually inaugurate 63 bridges built by Border Roads Organisation in 8 states. Delhi government further relaxes COVID restrictions in the national capital. Haryana extends lockdown till July 5th with certain relaxations. Bangladesh government imposes stricter lockdown in the country from today following sharp rise in COVID cases. Deepika Kumari bags 3 gold medals at Archery World Cup Stage 3 in Paris. In women's cricket, England beat India by 8 wickets in the first ODI. And in Euro Cup football, Belgium knock out defending champion Portugal to enter quarter-finals. Czech Republic beat Netherlands to enter the last 8. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Simple steps to stay safe and protected from COVID-19. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene, and get vaccinated.
The centre is disseminating awareness of national helpline numbers for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The helpline number of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry is 1075. The Child Helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 08046110007. Ayush COVID-19 Counselling Helpline number is 14443 and MyGov WhatsApp Help Desk number is 9013151515.
Welcome back to the morning news on All India Radio. President Ramnath Kovind will reach Lucknow today on a 2-day visit of the city. He is on a 5-day visit to the state. Yesterday, he attended several functions in his birthplace, Parok village, and Pukhrayan town of Kanpur Dehat district. The president will board the special presidential train at Kanpur Central Railway Station this morning to reach Lucknow. He will meet the dignitaries today in the city and will take part in the ceremony of laying of foundation stone for Ambedkar Smarak tomorrow. The Jammu police averted a major terror attack and recovered an improvised explosive device, IED, which was to be used to target a crowded area by an operative of terror outfit Lashkar-e-Toiba, LET. According to Director General of Police Dilbag Singh, this IED was received by LET outfit operative and was to be planted at some crowded place. He said the suspect is being interrogated. More suspects are likely to be picked up in this foiled IED blast attempt. AIR Jaipur station in Odisha was established on this day 58 years ago in 1964 for promoting unique art, culture and traditions of the predominantly tribal people of undivided Koraput and Gajapati districts. Apart from broadcasting special audience programs in the Odia language, AIR Jaipur is disseminating information in various tribal dialects like Desia, Saura, Kuvi and so on. This station is credited with winning national and international awards almost every year in program broadcasting. AIR Jaipur has played a pioneering role during Corona pandemic. A small station but with big ideas, this station used all the formats of broadcasting like live virtual programs, plays, features, musical items, discussions to spread Corona management awareness ideas and to keep people of all age groups and gender engaged during this difficult time. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister was highly appreciative of the role played by AIR Jaipur during the first wave of Corona pandemic.
External Affairs Minister will reach Italy today on the second leg of his two-nation visit. Dr. Jaishankar will attend the G20 ministerial meetings in Italy. These relate to ministerial meetings at foreign ministerial level as well as development ministerial level. Since December 2020, Italy holds the presidency of the G20. The Foreign Affairs Ministers' meeting is one of the ministerial meetings organized as part of the G20 Leaders Summit 2021. On the first leg of his visit, Dr. Jaishankar visited Greece. With 26 days remaining for the start of the Tokyo Olympics, All India Radio brings a special series on India's medal prospects at the sporting extravaganza. Today we take an insight in the Indian hockey team.
This year, under the watchful eyes of coach Graham Reed, the Indian team is in the final leg of its preparation in Bangalore. The team is raring to go under the leadership of midfielder Manpreet Singh, flanked by his deputies, vice-captain defenders Birendra Lakda and Harmanpreet Singh. Speaking exclusively to All India Radio, Manpreet Singh talks about the mood in the team ahead of the Tokyo Olympics.
इस बार ओलंपिक्स में काफी अच्छा प्रदर्शन रहेगा क्योंकि ये काफी एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर और यंग प्लेयर सभी दोनों का मिक्सअप है। इससे देखा जाए तो टीम का जो कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल है वो काफी अच्छा है।
Manpreet describes the demanding preparation that goes into the greatest sporting stage in the world. Manpreet says he respects every team playing at the Tokyo Olympics and does not consider any team inferior.
हम लोग इस बार यही सोच रहे हैं कि किसी भी टीम को अंडरएस्टिमेट नहीं करेंगे।
The entire country comes together in wishing the Indian hockey team all the best, and he hopes that it reclaims the golden days of the Indian hockey in Tokyo. Nishit Kumar, Sports Desk.
Belgium knocked out the defending champions Portugal 1-0 to advance to the quarter-finals of the Euro Cup football tournament. Thorgan Hazard's sensational strike in the first half remained the difference as the Portuguese were unable to get their goal. Belgium qualified for the round of 16 topping Group B with 3 wins in 3 games. During the group stages, they scored 7 goals and conceded only 1 to stamp their class. Portugal, on the other hand, have qualified as one of the best third-place teams and won only one of the 3 group stage games. In another match, the Czech Republic beat the Netherlands by 2-0 in Budapest. Goals from Thomas Hols and Patrick Schick helped the Czech Republic in defeating 10-men Netherlands to sail through the quarter-finals. Just before 1 hour mark in the game, Netherlands were down to 10 men after Majes deliberately fouled and denied Schick a goal-scoring opportunity, resulting in Russian referee Sergei Karasev producing a red card after a lengthy video assistant referee review.
In archery, India's Deepika Kumari defeated Russia's Elena Osipova 6-0 in the final of the women's individual recurve event to complete a hat-trick of gold medals in one day at the World Cup Stage 3 in Paris yesterday. She was also a part of the mixed recurve event and women's recurve team winning gold yesterday. In the mixed recurve team event, husband-wife duo Atanu Das and Deepika Kumari bagged gold with 5-3 win over the Netherlands. India also won a gold medal in the recurve women's team event.
In women cricket, England beat India by 8 wickets in the first ODI of the 3-match series at the County Ground in Bristol last night. In reply of Indian Eve's score of 201 for 8 in the stipulated 50 overs, England made 202 for 2 in 34.5 overs. For India, skipper Mithali Raj was the highest scorer with 72 runs. Earlier, England won the toss and chose to field.
Foreign investors pumped in over 15,000 crore rupees into the Indian equity market so far in June. This comes after 2 months of continuous net withdrawals by the overseas investors. Foreign investors pumped in 15,282 crore rupees into equities between June 1 and 25 period, but withdrew 2,568 crore rupees from the debt segment, taking the total net inflow to 12,714 crore rupees during the period under review. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. In the national capital, Delhi, may witness partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 27 degrees and the maximum may go up to 40 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Chennai will see generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 38 degrees. Srinagar will also see mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Temperature will hover between 15 and 30 degrees Celsius. Leh will have mainly clear sky. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 15 and 34 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Dehradun will see partly cloudy sky. Chandigarh will see partly cloudy sky. Hyderabad will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Itanagar will have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. The minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Kohima will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Imphal will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Agartala will have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Minimum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 32 degrees. Aizawl will have generally cloudy sky. Shillong will have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. And Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization has opined lungs more vulnerable to Delta Plus, but does not mean it is more transmissible, writes the Pioneer. Prime Minister Modi exhorted people to accept vaccines in his Mann Ki Baat yesterday. The Times of India quoting the PM says, "Trust science and take jabs." All the dailies have mentioned about the terrorist drone attack in the country where 2 IAF personnel suffered injuries. The Indian Express reports a new kind of terror. 2 bombs fall on Air Force Base in Jammu. The Hindu Business Line talks about local players to provide backbone for the 5G technology, which Prime Minister may flag off on Independence Day next year under the headline, "India's 5G network will have a Desi soul." And finally, the Hindustan Times mentions about Delhi's roadside barbers attracting more clients as people are fearful of walking into saloons in fear of contracting COVID-19. Roadside barber shops draw clients wary of air-conditioned saloons.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India's vaccination program can be a case study for the world. Urges people to get themselves vaccinated against COVID-19 soon. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to virtually inaugurate 63 bridges built by Border Roads Organisation in 8 states. Delhi government further relaxes COVID restrictions in the national capital. Haryana extends lockdown till July 5 with certain relaxations. Bangladesh government imposes stricter lockdown in the country from today following sharp rise in COVID cases. Deepika Kumari bags 3 gold medals at Archery World Cup Stage 3 in Paris. In women's cricket, England beat India by 8 wickets in first ODI. And in Euro Cup football, Belgium knock out defending champion Portugal to enter quarter-finals. Czech Republic beat Netherlands to enter the last 8. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.